What's going on, everybody? My name is Justin, this is Liquid Art Studios, and today on this final video of the year 2025, we are preparing a celebration for the crossing of the 1,000 subscriber milestone, and our friends over at Gaahleri have generously donated a set of their full line of metallic markers, as well as some eraser markers to give away as a part of the festivities, we'll say. Also, right here, as you can see, we got a whole lot going on because we're painting two models today. We're painting Chun-Li and Cammy. It seems like in the YouTube world of model painting, Chun-Li and Cammy are kind of a rite of passage. So I figured we'd go ahead and knock them both out in one video and then give them to one of you guys. So we need to just take a minute, take a deep breath, calm down, and we'll talk about that in a moment after we prime. Alright, so to enter the giveaway for the model or the Gaahleri marker set, all you're going to need to do, like the video, subscribe to the channel, because now it's more important than ever, and leave a comment down below. Let me know what's your New Year's resolution. If you're not into that kind of thing, maybe let me know what's your favorite model that I painted on the channel. It really doesn't matter. Just leave a comment down below. I'm going to go in and pick two random winners out of the comments when we cross 1,000 subscribers. That could be today if you really wanted to. Not to mention how awesome, like I said, would it be if we crossed 1,000 on New Year's Eve. It would be totally badass. So that's all you're gonna have to do, and let's finish up the zenithal and we'll get in with the painting process. Also, now's probably a good time to go ahead and remind you I have a Patreon, and I currently only have one active patron who's getting to vote on everything, and who's going to be winning the giveaways that I'm going to do every single month. And I want to do the community thing. I want to show off some of your stuff. There's all kinds of cool stuff. Just go check out the Patreon. Let's stop talking about dumb stuff, and let's paint a model starting with the base. So these two ladies are standing in a nice sunny beach environment, I would assume, so we're going to need to paint some sand, starting with a color called Buff. That's a nice neutral sandy color, and we're going to use the low pressure technique. If you're not familiar with that, what you're going to want to do is dilute your paint down real good, and then also go to your compressor and turn your air pressure almost all the way down to where almost nothing is coming out. So every time you pull the trigger back, it's going to splatter out little droplets randomly, and it will create a speckling effect over the surface you are painting. So obviously sand is not all one color, so just grab a few different colors that you think are sandy in nature and do this over top of everything, and it will give you a nice speckled effect. And then I'm going to come in with some Reichland Flesh Aid, and I'm going to add some more speckles, and then I turn the pressure up a little bit and start tinting everything to add some shadows. And then I'm going to come in finally with the Buff color, again watered down a little more than normal, to add in some highlights and kind of blend everything in together. So now that we have the base finished, we can go ahead and We can go ahead and start laying down our magenta slash pink slash purple slash whatever you want to call it. That is going to be the undertones for all of our skin tones that are going to be coming next. Alright, so first we're going to be starting off with Cammy. She's a little more tanned, a little more kissed by the sun, we'll say. So we're going to start off with some more darker tones for her. Starting off with this tanned flesh that's going to give us a real nice base for our shadows in our low light points. And now we're going to come in with a natural flesh from Ionic, which is pretty much going to be an equivalent to a brown rose from Vallejo that you might have. And this is what's going to start adding our definition, some of our highlights in our volumes to the model as we lay that down over top of the darker tanned flesh color. And then lastly, we're going to come in with the gnome skin, which is going to be the brightest of the skin tones that we're going to be using on this model to really focus on the highlights, the most highlighted areas. We're talking like the peaks of the muscles, the tops of the shoulders, a little bit maybe, like I said, on the top of her hip areas, pretty much everywhere that you would imagine that the sun would be reflecting the brightest off of a person's body. And if you're ever not sure of where your shadows and your highlights lay, you can literally just assemble your model as best you can, or even just take the part that you're painting, turn your lights off and just shine a light down right on top of it. If you turn the lights off in a dark room and you get your flashlight out on your phone and you just shine it straight down, that's pretty much going to tell you That's going to be the real life equivalent of a zenithal highlight. That's going to tell you where all your highlights are going to be, where all your shadows are going to be. You don't even have to zenithal from the top down. You can force a light perspective from any direction that you want to, but top down is usually the most common. We're going to start painting her hair. We're going to use a vanilla color, but it was a little too light. I didn't like that. I wanted to go for the more vibrant, comic, video game-esque color, so we just went with a straight golden yellow, which is significantly brighter and is going to give us much better coverage. And then we're going to go ahead and pick up our light magenta one more time to go ahead and paint the little bows and the little tie-offs that are all over her body. There's about 6 of them, and they are very, very small, but I will glue those in place before they're shipped because they will 100% get lost in the packaging. I promise you that. These things are tiny. And then I kept it simple with the straw hat, and I just went with a skeleton horde. I know that in the past, skeleton horde has been many colors. It has been the color of a sandbag. It's been the color of wood. It's been the color of lots of things. But today, it's the color of a nice, summery straw hat. And we don't really focus on a whole lot of... There's not a whole lot of details on these models, obviously, because they're not wearing a whole lot of clothes. But the clothes they are wearing, I didn't really go too crazy with highlights and shadows. I just mostly focused on the skin tones because that's what 80% of the model is anyway. So that's what we focused on, and yeah, I got that. That's all I got. Even her shoes in the renders for the pictures that come with all the models, they're just pink. They're pink with straps that are also pink, and this part going around the edges, and I've said it before, going around the little raised edges is the most stressful part of the painting process to me. It's almost as bad as painting eyes, which I think that I've made pretty good progress in that department, if I don't say so myself. I think my eyes are getting a whole lot better, but painting a raised edge, there's several ways to do it. It just depends on your skill level and your level of confidence. So I guess just really hold your breath and focus your brain power into your hands and just try not to move, because if you hit that skin tone, it's going to be really hard to fix and you're going to have to do the whole thing over again. And here we're gonna go ahead and give her a little bit of a pedicure. I just took one of the medium mid skin tones, watered it down real nicely, and just used that to paint over the toenails. And now we're going to come in with a bubble white, which is a little bit of an off-white. It's got a little bit of a bluish tint to it. It's probably my favorite white to use on things that need to be white. And we're going to use that to paint her belt and her very precariously tactical cell phone holder that she has strapped to her leg there. Almost as if it was a firearm, but it's a phone. So, yeah. And now that we've got all the white for the belt and straps done, we're going to head and start painting her bikini bottoms, which are the same light magenta that we used on the bows and the tie-off points, which makes sense because it's supposed to be part of the same garment. And now we're going to take some of this ionic steel color and paint in the little buckles and, what would you call them? Rivets? Not rivets. Whatever they are. The little metal doodads that are located around her belt. We're going to take even more of our light magenta color and go ahead and start painting in her top and the little armband that she has and the bracelets that she has, and she's just wearing a whole lot of pink. You wouldn't really think that Cammy, being the, I guess, sort of the more badass character, would be a very pink person, but apparently she is. And now we're going to go ahead and give her the same manicure treatment that she got for the pedicure treatment, with that mid skin tone watered down over top of the fingernails. And we're ready to go ahead and start putting the body of this model together. Oh, and I almost forgot the little triangle that was on her top. This was actually supposed to be yellow with a black outline, but I didn't do that because I just missed it. So sorry about that. And now we're going to pick up some more of that golden yellow and start painting her hair. Also, yes, I did notice there was a gap in the arm. That is because I did not super glue this thing together. Because for shipping purposes, it is infinitely easier and safer for the travel of the model for it to be in pieces and assembled by the end user. So I just used a little piece of blue tack to hold her arm in place. And also, I, for some reason, did not feel it necessary to show you the color, but I think it was a Reichland flesh aid that I used to give a little decoloration to the scar on her face. And then also, I went ahead and took that golden yellow and I put another hand-painted coat over the rest of the hair, because if you've ever hand-painted something and airbrushed something, they don't look the same. So we want to try to get it to look the same as we possibly could. And it still didn't end up looking the same, because her head had all those skin tones and highlights and bright colors underneath of it, and the other hair didn't, but that's okay. We'll fix that in a minute. Let's go ahead and start painting the face, first starting off by blacking out the eyes. This is good to do for female models because most women, females, that wear the makeups wear the eyeliner, so if you use a black underneath everything, you can get the edges of the eyes, and that gives them an eyeliner appearance. And then we took a deck tan and went ahead and filled in the sclera of the eyeball. And then I took some more of that black and just ever so carefully went back and filled in the bottom eyelid to fix the eyeliner where I accidentally touched it with the deck tan. She has blue eyes, so we're going to start with a darker blue tone, and go ahead and start placing in the iris. And then I didn't even grab a different color blue. I just mixed a little bit of the deck tan in with the blue to make a lighter blue. And we're going to use that to cover up the majority of our dark blue circle, because that's the way eyes work, apparently. And then we're going to take a little teeny tiny dot of black for the pupil. And then we got some painted eyeballs. And then I also did come back in with some more of the same flesh tone that I used on her fingernails to paint over her lips. And then I took just a little tiny bit of white and put in a few specular highlights into the eyes. Kind of makes it look a little more realistic, like light is actually shining off of it. And then I took some gloss and went over the lips and the eyes. And then this is the point when assembling the hair, I realized that these two shades of yellow were not the same yellow, but that's okay, because I had already planned on dry brushing some variants into it anyway. So I took some of that vanilla color that we were going to use to begin with and dry brushed that all over all of the yellow, which I think ended up giving it a more blonde vibe. I don't know what you would call it. It's not realistic, but a more blonde color in the end. And then I took just a little bit more of our light magenta, and I promise this is the last time we're going to use it, on her little hair bows that she is using to keep her very long braids in place, and the ribbon that is around her straw hat. And now that all of the pink things have been painted pink, Cammy is officially finished. And if we were not painting two models today, this would be the part where I would normally bid you adieu. However, we're painting a whole ass another model. So we're going to try to speed through this one a little quicker. It's kind of a whole lot more of the same, but different colors. I used the Vallejo skin tones on her, starting off with the brown rose. And she is a little lighter complected, little less tanned, less sunburnt than Cammy, so we used a lighter palette on her. And now we're going to come in with a sunny skin tone, which, contrary to its name, is not like a sunny, tanned color. It's just more of a neutral, more light, more yellow skin tone. Also, when painting Chun-Li, I'm sure you've noticed, I didn't do as heavy of a coverage on the base tone because I wanted to let some of that purple pink color kind of shine through or bleed through as part of the shadow of her skin tones. And now we're going to come in with a light flesh or light skin and add in the highlight to the brightest points of her skin. And now we're going to start painting her sandals, which actually are two colors instead of just one. So we're going to use a deck tan to paint the parts that need to be white or tan or deck tan. And that was also quite terrifying because getting in between them little piggies is scary because one wrong move and you've touched the skin. Also, in case you didn't know, this little thing is awesome. It's a little, desktop vacuum, and it's absolutely killer for picking up little pieces of plastic and stuff that's all over, $7 or $8 on Amazon. Totally awesome. And we're going to take a phthalo blue, I believe is how that is pronounced. And this is going to be the primary blue color for Chun-Li's outfit. And now we're going to take some of this brass color from Ionic, which is pretty much what I use on everything that needs to be gold, because it looks like gold. And we're going to start painting the little trinkets that she has scattered around her ankles and toes. And then for her toes, I did the same thing that Mr. Ground Affected himself did, because I thought it looked cool, and he just did like a little French tip thing over the outside edge of the toenails, and that looked awesome. So I did the same thing because I want my model to look cool too, damn it. Well, I guess I should be saying I want your model to look cool too, because whoever posts the comment in the comments section down below on this video will be randomly selected when we hit 1,000 subscribers to win this model. And we can do it today. Click subscribe. And this part too, like I was saying with Cammy's sandal area, like it is so stressful to paint these edges. Like on this part particularly, because the edges were not very raised, because they shouldn't be. It's no fault of the model whatsoever, but they are so shallow, and it is so hard to paint only on the edge. Like in my opinion, that is the thing that makes a model look different from like amateur or professional, if you even want to try to put levels of painting. Like if you can get that edge painted perfectly and not let any of your paint seep onto the adjacent surface, and make it look like ultra clean. That, I think, is what we should all be striving to do. That's like the pinnacle of brush control, which practice makes perfect, right? So let's keep on keeping on. And now we're going to take some of our same brass that we used before on her leg trinkets to paint her body trinkets, because she has some gold chains and some gold trim around her swimsuit. It's a lot of gold we're using here, or a lot of brass, and this is actually sped up about 17 and a half times to give you any idea of how slow I was going to try to get this as tidy as I could, and I still ended up screwing up a little bit because I over-thinned my gold and it bled out a little bit, but that's okay because I didn't put a highlight on her bathing suit. I was able to take some of that blue and just go around and tidy everything up. And now we're going to go ahead and use some of that to paint the little bangle that is on her arm. That's a bangle, right? Is that what the kids call those things? It's a bangle. And then we're going to use some blue to paint these little balls that are on her wrist. And now that we've finished painting her wrist balls, we can go ahead and paint her other bracelet, which was actually blue and gold. So all I did was just painted the whole thing blue, and then came in with a dry brush, because there are some raised edges on the detailed areas, and dry brushed over top of that. But before I did that, while I was letting the blue dry, I went again and gave her the same manicure treatment of the little French tip effect on her fingernails. And now we're ready to go ahead and start painting her hair, which is a very dark brown, almost black, so we used a black brown to paint her hair. And now we're ready to go ahead and start painting the portrait of this lady, and we're going to start out in much the same way that we did with Cammy, by blacking out the eyes once again so we can get that eyeliner look. Black out the eyes, paint the upper and lower edge of the eyelid, and you got eyeliner. And while I'm waiting on that to dry, I can go ahead and paint her earrings, which are also gold and blue. Who would have guessed? And then for her eyes, just to change it up a little bit so they weren't exactly the same, I ended up using a very highlight skin tone to paint her sclera of her eyeballs. And then we come in with a dark brown because her eyes are also dark brown. And again, I didn't grab another brown. I just added some of that white, light skin color to the brown to give us a lighter brown color. And then we've taken 2 little dots and put the pupils in. And now we're taking a few more little white dots to add the specular highlight in. And with brown hair, you can actually dry brush some copper over the top of it, and it gives you a real nice shimmery looking highlight. It's pretty cool. You should try it on the next model. Mostly probably a female. I don't know if a dude with brown hair would look cool. But females with brown hair, yeah, copper over the top 100% works as a pretty cool looking highlight. And then I took some of that Kaleido gloss red to paint over her lips because she is wearing, oddly enough, with all the blue and gold, she is wearing a bright red lipstick. And this works because it's already glossy too. And we have finished with her face. We're going to take a little bit of our gloss to paint over the eyeballs. And we're ready to start gluing some hair parts into place. And now after 43 minutes and 14 seconds, we have finished painting Chun-Li and Cammy. These models are now officially finished. And, yeah, there they are.
Trading the thunder for the summer skies. No orders coming through the static case. Just the golden rhythm of the dying days. The scars are hidden, but the weight remains. Washing the dust of the urban chain. Golden tides in the indigo deep. Promises made and the secrets we keep. Two shadows walking where the light starts to fade. A legacy of iron in the choices we made. At the water's edge, we're finally free. Underneath the surface of a silent sea. Blue silk flicker in the evening wind. Counting the pulse where the light begins. Our daughter's justice, the fighter's hand. Writing a name in the shifting.
And now, I guess, unfortunately, we are at that point where we get to say goodbye. Until next year, when I'll see you guys again. Chun-Li, Cammy, I think it turned out really awesome. They are ready to find their forever home. Please like the video. Please subscribe. As soon as we hit 1,000 subscribers, comment down below, and I will be picking one person to win both of these models. Thank you very much for watching the video. 2025 has been awesome. It's been a great time. Can't wait to see what next year brings. We will see you guys next time. Peace.